And so essentially I read through the thousands of comments and almost everyone believes that the likes of Jullian, Hussein, Farhad, the rest of them, that they're lying. That the fact that they have more muscle than most normal people proves they're fake natties.
I am secretly bringing in a medical doctor who's going to blood test every single person later in the video.
Remember, guys, this is Jeff Nippard. He's not going to be paid off by these guys. I don't think that Jullian or Hussein paid off Jeff and said, you know, fudge the results, fake it. I mean, Hussein already has passed 2 separate blood work tests with me looking at the results, and y'all said, oh, but he's part of the company. And so you're just lying for him. Do you think Jeff lied to help me to prove that Hussein was natural? And so with Jullian, I got in trouble, Larry Wheels got in trouble simply for backing him up. And so what did I do? I went above and beyond. I wrote him and said, hey, can you get your blood work taken right now? And if it's natural, I'm going to defend you. And what do you think happened? Well, it showed he was natty, but yet the people, they still don't believe it. Oh, he just cycled off. He took this, he took that. I went over in detail explaining why that is not what happened. He's then surprise tested yet again. Now, the key point is surprise. Yes, I agree. If he had advance warning, he could have stopped taking what he was taking in order to have time to cycle off and pass the test. But he didn't, yet he still passed. And so I think the comments are simply ridiculous. When you have the proof that he passed the test and you still don't believe him, what more do you want him to do?
You know, Jeff Nippard for the past week has been in an absolute bombshell and has lost all credibility and ruined the reputation of just one video.
I think it is, but a lot of people find that hard to believe.
Vast majority of people are saying, there's no way this guy is natural.
You just won't be able to convince me there's a single chance he achieved this naturally.
So I put it to the test, and I showed this group of guys who swear they're all natural to random strangers and asked them one question. Who's natty and who's not?
Him.
You think he's on steroids? Okay.
Oh yeah, like that's just insane.
It's pretty big.
It gets a little suspicious, you know. It's a little too much.
I think he takes steroids.
Him?
Yeah.
Okay, you stay forward.
100% I would say natural.
No, they've just been getting roasted the whole time. So
Yeah, so sorry
they're
about
used to
that.
it, yeah.
Jeff Nippard not too long ago published a video on how to look like you're on steroids while being natural. The overall video idea was okay and had no problems around it, but the fact that Jeff casted one of the most controversial natty influencers in the industry caused the whole world war within the space and made Jeff Nippard the most hated guy, as he literally invited the devils of the industry that literally no one wants to believe are 100% natural.
So what's your opinion? Jeff Seed, would you say he was natural as a teenager or enhanced?
I would say he's not. He's probably enhanced, probably dabbled in a bit of stuff.
Dude, the blatant shamelessness to correctly say that Jeff Seed was not natty as a teenager, but to then try and pass off your own physique transformation as being 100% natural when it's arguably more impressive than what Jeff was able to do in his first 3 years of training with steroids is just so ridiculous and shameless. This is Jeff Seed's 7-year transformation, which, as Hussein correctly states, was achieved by the help of steroids. And here is Hussein's very own transformation that only took 3 years opposed to Jeff's 7 years, which Hussein claims he achieved naturally.
So in this video, I'll be looking into the situation on whether the industry is full of insecure people who refuse to believe that there are genetically gifted people on planet Earth, or maybe, Jeff is working with Greg to set in his secret plans to fool the industry and probably hit us to achieve the natty physique by getting our harder than last time natural test liver replacement, stuff like that.
He's eating enough protein, healthy nutrition, and so on. And remember, this isn't about Hussein, this is about Jullian. And just for reference sake, Jullian's physique at 18 is way more impressive than Hussein. Now, I like Hussein. He's one of my better friends. But I'm not gonna blow smoke up his ass and say that he would beat Jullian in a bodybuilding competition. Jullian is 1.5 inches shorter than Hussein. Jullian's 200 pounds, Hussein's 181 pounds. And so he's clearly got about 20 pounds more muscle, at least considering he's shorter. And so he's got a better physique than Hussein, and he's only 18. And so that's why you got to assume if you're a betting man, he's probably not natty.
So off the bat, I'm not going to go over reacting to the whole video. The whole summary is that no matter what science-based evidence or once upon a time our story, Jeff Nippard says no one will ever believe his word that Hussein and Jullian are actually 100% natural.
Why isn't it possible? It's just not. Why not, you stupid?
I mean, like, Hussein has a chance to run with it, as like he did do 2 drug tests and kind of prove it natural, but Jullian is the one that's gonna be getting the most back shots out of the situation.
Here's the thing. Before you jump to any conclusions, just take a look at this photo. This is Melvin Wells, and this photo was taken in 1949. The first corroborated reports of testosterone use in the lifting community were in 1952. So there's an extremely high likelihood those arms are 100% natty. But if you're really tapped in, you may know that Soviet lifters did use testosterone in the late 1940s, so maybe this guy somehow got his hands on it. One person who definitely didn't get his hands on steroids, though, was this gentleman. And we know that because this photo was taken in 1912, 2 decades before injectable testosterone was ever even isolated for the first time. Not gonna lie, those bicep peaks do look a bit familiar. Here's the thing, some people are just jacked. Just like there's a huge range in height potential, there's also a huge range in muscle growth potential. If we see someone who's 7 feet tall, we don't immediately think they're taking growth hormone. But when it comes to muscle mass, people often forget the role of genetics and immediately jump to steroids. Now, I don't want to undercut any of Jullian's hard work and chalk it all up to genetics. The dude trains like an absolute beast. But I do think his answer to this question was revealing.
What do you have for breakfast?
I do eat a lot of like protein and stuff like that. Like same thing everybody else eats. Like I go to Wendy's sometimes, you know what I mean? Nothing crazy.
Here's what I think. Sometimes, when you combine world-class genetics with super hard training, you really can get to a level of muscular development that some people simply aren't going to believe is possible naturally, no matter what you say.
Why isn't it possible?
The contestants are shown in bad and good lighting. Jullian and Hussein still look massive, and the whole comment section is just not buying what Jeff Nippard is saying about this too, and feel as if they're being scammed by one of the most trusted fitness educators, Jeff Nippard. Jeff Nippard gives a lot of helpful advice, and everyone looks forward to listening to what he says, but his claim that any form of training will get you looking like Jullian is like a middle finger to his fans, as he's raising the bar extremely too high for his audience to digest. In my opinion, it seems like the science-based lifting category has taken it too far in terms of the information. It's like everything that has to do with science has to be correct and valid, in which has gotten Jeff Nippard a lot of hate, being that making videos of how barbell bench doesn't grow at big chest, but dumbbell bench does, being that there's a proper stretch and on the eccentric, which in conclusion got people like Mike Van Wyk, taking the statement a little personal and bitch slapping, Jeff Nippard as if he was one of those WWE divas that crashed out me opening in the ring, stuff like that. A better summary of what I'm trying to say is that science-based lifting is literally so glorified that people that bro science has been looked down upon. It really doesn't take that much thinking for the cavemen to acknowledge that people like Jullian are probably not 1 in a million, but 1 in a billion genetic freaks. And there's no amount of stretches which will get Jack Fitness looking like David Lace unless he takes steroids, but that didn't work. I low-key understand Jeff Nippard's situation, as the video was intended to hook people. By the title of the video, is to hook people, like who are just constantly doom scrolling to click the video, as in their head it's just too unreal to achieve such a physique with just a deeper stretch during a rep.
That stretch is insane.
Jeff Nippard knew what he was doing. It's just the clickbait actually ruined his credibility, as he already has a big following, and he doesn't need to throw any clickbait like those two thirsty Shamuta, big boy and girly muscle who'll be on their knees, asking for some recognition from Michael Jackson, stuff like that. Like, he already has a fan base. There's no need to just overly, God, that's extreme clickbait. That's raising the standards, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, Jullian got the blood test and apparently he's natty. People are not buying it. They believe Jeff Nippard is lying. They believe Greg DeSitt is lying. The only way to prove this that is actually 100% is going in an actual, confirmed federation. Could be like the IFBB or whatever, but also that has corruption too. Everywhere is corruption. So, with a little bit of bucks, corruption can just be made like that. So we do not know Take in mind that Jullian is a black man and we know how the black guys go.
Bye, have a great time.
Why isn't it possible?